why Bernie Sanders lost Michigan, and what it means for his campaign. It means it's over. The progressives have had stunning defeat after defeat after defeat, and the revolution will not be televised.
It's not funny!
Okay.
Don't talk!
Welcome back, everybody, to Crow of Judgment. It is Crow here, and today we're going to be talking about Bernie Sanders just getting absolutely curb stomped in the Tuesday delegate count. He lost Michigan, which is stunning because Bernie is supposed to be the union guy, and I mean, the unions basically rule Detroit. This is just absolutely hilarious. It is absolutely hilarious. But before we begin, I'm going to be going over all of these hashtags you can see on the top of my screen. Hashtag Bernie dropout. Hashtag bye bye Biden. Soledad O'Brien calling people who are not white privileged. Cenk Uygur, because I gave him a hard time. I'm going to go over his response. And dem-exit 2020. It is crazy. Oh, and here's another one. Dropout Bernie. It's nuts today. Please do me a favor. Hit a like if you can. Hit a dislike if you really hate me. Drop a comment, even if that comment says, "You're wrong, Crow. You hate the lower middle class. You're white privileged, and we do not support your channel." Whatever you want to say, because all comments are great for the YouTube algorithm. Anyways, as you can see, after Bernie getting crushed on Tuesday, I mean, it's done. This whole push for this socialist candidate, there's no path to victory for this man. No matter what you want to say at this point, there's a debate that's going to be happening on Sunday. We'll have a video for that as well. But between this race between Bernie and Biden, Bernie could show up to that debate, crush Joe Biden. Joe Biden could literally start crapping himself on stage, and the DNC is still going to ensure that Joe Biden gets all the super delegates, because they would rather see Trump win than see a Bernie Sanders presidency. And no lie. Now, this is fun. You basically have a war, a civil war going on between the progressives and the quote-unquote moderate wing of the Democrats, because they hate each other. They have always hated each other. They do not agree on anything. The moderate corporate kind of Democrats will work across the aisle, and the progressives are Puritans. You have to agree. You have to bend the knee. You have to obey what they say. And if you don't, then oh my goodness, do they start losing it. But this stuff's funny. So let's just go through this, and then I'll go over this absolutely asinine tweet by Soledad O'Brien. And the reason why I'm focusing on her is because my sister lives where this lady is from, Salinas, California. So I saw that. I was like, oh man. And she's calling Cenk Uygur out, and I have to actually back up Cenk, because he's not really wrong. Oh man, someone's worse than Cenk. That's insane. I love this meme though. Joe Biden wins most of the states. Bernie Sanders wins North Dakota. Bernie bros, so you're telling me there's a chance? I like this though. Joe has 860 delegates. Bernie has 710. I think they meant Bernie Sanders. Whatever. The Sanders supporters are not the brightest bulbs. He's only 150 delegates behind Biden. We're still waiting on California, Utah, Idaho, Colorado, Washington to be fully counted, and a recount in Texas. 1991 delegates are needed. We're not even halfway there. Your little Bernie dropout is irrelevant at this point. You don't get it though. Bernie needed to sweep, not Biden. Biden can just squeak by, barely be behind Bernie or barely be over Bernie. It doesn't matter, because at this point you're gonna go into a brokered convention, even if Bernie wins everything else. There's no path to victory for Bernie, and he's not going to win everything. He literally lost Michigan, the home of the fucking unions. Oh man, Bernie dropout. Y'all think a man who's been fighting his whole life for this is gonna stop now? Bernie's never been a fan of giving up. You'll just have to deal with it, I guess. See you at the debates, Joe. Bernie dropout. No, you guys don't get to anoint a candidate. Your attempts to silence young people. Dude, I'm so sick and tired of this shit. Young people did not even go out to support Bernie Sanders. We're talking less than 13%, somewhere around that number. Now, don't get me wrong. There are super pro-socialist areas where the youth vote did turn out, but barely. And I actually like this next line. The working class. Bernie Sanders ain't the working class, and the union workers in Michigan are, and they said, F you to Bernie. Latino voters is very noted, though. Like, come on. Like, enough of this crap. Yes, there is a large portion of the Hispanic vote that does not support Joe Biden because, he served in the Obama administration, where they literally built the cages that they put the children in now. But, here's the thing. Black voters are more behind Biden than Bernie Sanders. So I've never understood this whole thing about ignoring minority voices. But now he's just saying, well, ignore the black minority vote, which is more important to the Democrats. And let's just focus on how they're ignoring the Latino vote. Come on, man. You just don't have support. Bernie, drop out. This shit right here. Keep testing burners and see how that works out for you. I am once again asking you to fuck around and find out. Can't wait for Bernie to embarrass Joe Biden's senile ass on national television this Sunday. Can the DNC self-destruct a little faster? Dude, we see the exit polls. Like, the people pushing Bernie dropout. It's like when there's an anti-Trump trend, and you see just the Trump supporters, ragging on it. But instead, this time, it's just all Bernie supporters on this trend all over the place, losing their minds. Young non-voters. If you want Bernie Sanders to be the DNC nominee, then it's your fault that Bernie dropout is trending, and a very real probability. If you didn't vote, then don't complain that your choice didn't make it. Yeah. 7%, 8%, 14%, 16, 32, 23. I mean, here's the problem. Bernie Sanders pushes for these voters here, the 18 to 29 year olds. That he has a lot of vocal support, but they just do not show up. They don't. Once you slip past that, he starts to tank. And the problem is, when you go to 40 to 65 and over, those people always vote. They're always going to show up. And Bernie Sanders freaks them the fuck out. Oh, man. Bernie drop out Bernie. I think drop out Bernie is the one that the anti-Bernie people are using. The best thing for Bernie Sanders to do right now is drop out and endorse Joe Biden. Why? They're two different people. Yeah, actually, the thing is, Bernie Sanders has already said that he would go out and endorse Joe Biden if Joe Biden's a nominee. And Biden said, yeah, I'm not going to do... what time is it? Like, come on. Like, come on. I've never understood this whole thing about people thinking Bernie is anti-establishment. I used to think that too, until he literally bent the knee to Hillary Clinton, who cheated him. And then went and campaigned for her, and now she goes on TV like all the time, everywhere she can, news media, wherever anyone will let her talk, to say what a terrible, disgusting human being Bernie Sanders is. And now he's out there saying, well, I'll endorse Joe Biden. I'll get behind Joe Biden. I just want to keep leeching off the government. Oh, man. At Bernie Sanders, clearly you haven't read Joe's platform. You continue to mislead your supporters. You propagandize every day Dems as the evil establishment, and you exploit the youth vote. What youth vote? You were complicit in the character assassination of Hillary. Now, Joe, I mean, I don't get that, but you can see they hate each other. They hate each other, and they're in the exact same party. This is so funny. But these trends have just been going on all day. Oh, man. Bernie says he is winning the generational debate. The youth vote isn't showing up. Biden's firewall held. Yours is crumbling. Yeah, so Michigan was Bernie's firewall, and it collapsed. Oh, man. Joe Biden wins the Idaho primary according to the AP. Mr. @T_Fisher King. Low turnout, almost pure white state. Bernie still loses. Damn. Yeah, because as I understand it, Bernie's got a much larger base of supporters with the white community. Because most of these progressives are, affluent, middle class, white kids. And why is the media perpetuating the myth that the young Bernie Bratz vote is more important than Warren, Beto, Booker, Buttigieg, Klobuchar votes? Why more important than African American votes, women's votes, older folks' votes? Stop this nonsense and shut this down. I don't like Biden, but you have to admit, he actually has a higher percentage of the vote with, again, African American voters, black voters, women voters. They have higher with older folks. I know that the youth vote don't give shit about that. But that's the thing. Bernie went for the youth vote, and the youth vote never shows up to vote. It was stupid. I love this. This 8 minutes ago. Fuck you, libs. #dropout Bernie. No, I won't vote for Joe Biden because he fucking sucks. I agree. I do. But, man. Oh, man, is Bernie... they're on the same level for me. Except for maybe Biden is somehow less worse because he's so freaking senile that he couldn't actually do any damage. Oh, man. Bernie Sanders told 1 p.m. press conference in Burlington about his campaign. The thing is, when he lost on Tuesday, he did not address his voters. He went straight to Vermont and shut himself up. Oh, man. He did not win one county in 3 states. Not one county. He got shellacked yesterday and is still claiming to have strong majority. In Michigan, he only gained 30,000 more votes than 2016. Biden increased Michigan turnout over HRC by 250K. It's over, guys. It's over. But we can go through bye Biden. Oh, they hate each other. It's beautiful to watch. But now, here's what I want to play. So, this is Soledad O'Brien. This is really great example of white privilege in action from @Crystal and @Cenk Uygur. Now, I ripped apart Cenk Uygur in my last video, but this shit I just absolutely hate. I cannot stand people in media, people who have privilege like Soledad O'Brien, turning around and calling other people white privilege because they say they're not going to get behind Joe Biden. Like, if you do not like the candidate, if he doesn't represent your values in any way, shape, or form, and Joe Biden doesn't. He really doesn't for progressives. He's like the antichrist for them. He's on the level of Trump for them. This is the guy who literally signed it into law that you could not discharge student loan debt through bankruptcy. Why would progressives be for this guy? Come on. But she's saying that it's white privilege because they don't want to bend the knee and get behind the old white dude. Come on. Let's just play what they actually said.
Forward.
But Crystal, I got to ask, what's our alternative? I mean, I don't think it's tenable for progressives to threaten to vote for Trump. I think that's nuts. I would never do that.
I would never vote for Donald Trump either, but you can leave it blank. As of today, I'm an undecided voter because here's the thing, Jake. Donald Trump is awful. The next Republican will be awful. And if they always can say, look, you've got to vote for us no matter what, you've got no other choice, then they're always going to treat us like this because you have no power in that situation if you're just going to show up and vote for them anyway. So I know people aren't going to want to hear that, but I think that is the reality of the situation that we face right now.
So, I mean, it makes sense. And you know what? A lot of people have been saying this about the Democratic Party for a long time is that they basically say you have to vote for us because the alternative is worse. Well, at a certain point, you're looking at it and you're probably going, well, is it? You never give us a choice. You never give us a vote. You never take our opinion seriously. I mean, that's why you're seeing, the Blexit movement, right? That's why you're seeing the walk away campaign, because these are people who, just like Cristobal said, we're told, you have to vote for us. You have to. Don't you understand? And now they're sitting there going, why? Why are we voting for you when you don't represent us? You don't do the things that we want you to do, and you repeatedly will spit in our faces. I mean, look at this. She's literally just saying, I can't vote for you when you don't listen to what we want. And Soledad O'Brien, who is a very privileged person, turns around and says, it's white privilege to say this, and accuses Cenk Uygur. Cenk Uygur is not a white guy. He's Middle Eastern. I hate Cenk Uygur, but like, come on. So Cenk Uygur responded, 1, I'm not white. Being from a Muslim background has not been a bowl of peaches lately. 2, I disagreed with Crystal in that segment, so context would be nice. 3, not everyone who disagrees with you is doing it because of privilege. I mean, I don't like Cenk, but when he's right, he's right. When he's wrong, he's wrong. In this situation, broken clocks twice a day, yada yada, he's not wrong here. And apparently he's saying that he disagreed with he disagreed with Cristobal. So why are you saying that Cenk, like, honestly, man, they have lost their damn minds. And now you see dem-exit 2020 trending. Kyle Perkins, you know who is earning our vote? At Real Donald Trump. This is insane. So I'm just going to click on the profile. When you see these roses, right? These roses represent the DSA, the Democratic Socialist of America. That's what they stand for. You see it in all of their profiles. You have a socialist flat out stating right now. He is the only person out there right now in the political main stage calling the DNC out for rigging the election. Meanwhile, the Dems representing us are frantically endorsing the status quo. Hashtag lose with Biden. Hashtag dem-exit 2020. Crazy. Watching Biden supporters freak out as they figure out just how pissed young voters are is hilarious. The Biden Facebook groups are losing their mind, afraid young people won't vote for him in the general. They're right, we won't. Dem-exit 2020. Man. So this is the Bernie supporters are not going to do it. They are not getting behind Biden. And yeah, I laughed and I said, the youth vote was just dumb to go out and chase. But now they're just saying, like, flat out, well, we're not even the ones who show up aren't gonna go vote for Biden. So what do? This is the actual civil war going on in the country. Now, I know a lot of people were talking about tensions rising and, the left and the right in this country are basically going to come to blows because they will not talk to each other. But look at what's happening within the Democratic Party. Look at what is going on. They do not agree. They are not the same party. They have very different values. And yeah, the youth vote might not turn out now, but that youth vote is pissed off, angry, and thinks that the people that are supposed to be having their backs are stepping on them. They're going to grow up in 5-10 years. Maybe they chill out, but let's be honest, they're probably just going to be hardcore independents and never support the Democrats again. Now, this can only help out Donald Trump. He is the real victor here. The Republicans are just going to keep on sweeping because the Democrats just shoved a knife into themselves. And you got to wonder, was it really that bad to go with Bernie Sanders? Did you really need to go out and smear Tulsi Gabbard, who's still in the race, as a Russian asset? Smear Bernie Sanders as a Russian asset? Was any of this necessary? Absolutely not. They could have pulled back at any point. Instead, they chose to just keep hammering, keep insulting, keep accusing everyone of being a Russian asset, a Russian bot, and now they're getting another group. They're actually getting progressives to leave them. And now I'm not saying that those progressives are all going to go to Donald Trump like that one person, but they're just not going to vote Democrat. It's the end. It is literally the end of the Democratic Party as it currently stands. There's nothing there anymore. Oh, man. So, you know what? Hats off to Bernie Sanders. He spent his entire adult life leeching off the government, I think the greatest thing he ever did with his congressional or senatorial power was essentially to rename some park benches. So, you know, he actually accomplished something. He did. He did. In his late 70s, Bernie Sanders is responsible for the end of the Democratic Party. Oh, gosh. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, if you listen to this whole thing and you're still sitting there thinking, God, that crow just hates unions, the working class, he hates all good things, all righteous things, he's a terrible evil man, I want you to leave me that comment because, again, it is only going to help me grow.